I'm in. I'm back, guys. More history content is what I need. It's just more history content. Is that what you think? I do more history content. I will be doing deep fake videos again at some point, but not right now because I still need to get these presidents out the way. Sorry for not posting yesterday. It's because I forgot to. I was like, oh my god, I was going to post like yesterday. Then I realized, oh no, I didn't have time. So I'll just do one today. So today we are doing Harry S. Truman, who is the 33rd president. He was also a vice president. He was the 34th vice president. In my last video, we did George H.W. Bush, one of the father-son pair. I mean, this is true because there's like two father-son pairs, one grandfather and grandson pair, and then the cousins pair. That makes no sense, but I think that's true. And obviously I did my own research about Harry S. Truman and his lady, his first lady was the oldest. Like, she lived to 90 something, but that is just the longest living first lady, which I'll get to that soon. Harry S. Truman also took the title of oldest president when he assumed office, though. So, and he was the third oldest, well, not oldest living. It goes like, he's the fourth longest living president after two presidents who lived to the same age, and also two presidents also to the same age. Actually, no, he was the fifth oldest living president on the list, because there's been 10, and then Harry S. Truman does count on the top 10 living presidents. So I did my own research about Harry S. Truman. I know, but please, if I get some stuff wrong, I'll try my best to pronounce some of the names, which I can't pronounce. Harry S. Truman. Harry S. Truman was born on May 8th, 1884 till December 26th, 1972. He was the 33rd president of the United States, serving from 1945 to 1953. A member of the Democrat Party, he served as the United States Senator from Missouri from 1935 to 1945. And briefly in 1945 as the 34th vice president under Franklin D. Roosevelt. Assuming the presidency after Roosevelt's death, Truman implemented the Marshall Plan in the wake of World War II to rebuild the economy of Western Europe and establish both the Truman Doctrine and the NATO to contain the expansion of Soviet communism. He proposed numerous liberal domestic reforms, but few were attached by the conservative colonization that dominated Congress. This is his office portrait. It was around 1947, but it's not really confirmed when. It looks so weird though. The 33rd president of the United States. He was in office from April 12th, 1945 until January 20th, 1953. Also, Harry S. Truman did serve 2 terms. He was a vice president. He had no vice president from 1945 to 1949, but his actual first vice president was Alban W. Barkley from 1949 to 1953. Now, obviously, I don't really know why Harry S. Truman didn't have a vice president during his first term, but his second term he did. He was preceded by Franklin D. Roosevelt and was succeeded by Dwight D. Eisenhower. 34th Vice President of the United States. He was in office from January 20th, 1945 to April 12th, 1945. The president was Franklin D. Roosevelt. He was preceded by Henry A. Wallace and was succeeded by Allen W. Barkley, his own vice president. Oh god. Dude, these stupid offices are really annoying because they have to keep coming in my videos every time. United States Senator from Missouri. He was in office from January 3rd, 1935 to January 17th, 1945. That's 10 years. He was preceded by Roscoe C. Patterson and succeeded by Frank P. Briggs. How do you pronounce it? The presiding judge of Jackson County, Missouri. He was in office from January 1st, 1927 till January 1st, 1935. He was preceded, I do not know how to pronounce these names, but he was preceded by F.U. W. Hayes and succeeded by F.U. I. Purcell. I do not know. What are these names? I don't know. I don't think these officers were in here. Judge of Jackson County, Missouri's Eastern District. He was in office from January 1st, 1923 to January 1st, 1925. He was preceded by James E. Gilday and succeeded by Henry Rummel. His personal details. Okay, finally. He was born on May 8th, 1884 in Lima, Missouri in U.S. He died on December 26th, 1972, aged 88, in Kansas City in Missouri. His resting place is Harry S. Truman Presidential Library and Museum in Independence. So it's in his own country. His own state. Oh my god, I can't speak. His political party is Democrat. He married Bess Wallace in 1919, or you could say Bess Truman, who lived longer than him. His child was just Margaret. That's just it. You only have one child. His mother is Martha N. Young, which is his mother. Obviously, his father doesn't show. His relative is Clinton Truman Daniel, his grandson, and Clinton Daniel, his son-in-law. Oh, his occupation is a farmer, haberdasher, and a politician. Nice. Here is his Harry S. Truman's voice. Excerpt from a radio broadcast regarding the Potsdam Conference. It was recorded in November 1948. Truman was raised in Independence, Missouri, and during World War I fought in France as a captain in the field artillery. Returning home, he opened a haberdashery in Kansas City, Missouri, and was elected as a judge of Jackson County in 1922. Truman was elected to the U.S. Senate of Missouri in 1934. Between 1940 and 1944, he gained national prominence as chairman of the Truman Committee, which was aimed at reducing waste and efficiency in wartime contrasts. Truman was elected vice president in the 1944 presidential election and assumed the presidency upon Roosevelt's death in April 1945. It was only when Truman assumed the presidency that he was informed about the ongoing Manhattan Project and the atomic bomb. Truman authorized the first and only use of nuclear weapons in war against the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. I can't pronounce the second name. I'm sorry if I can't pronounce it. Nagasaki. Truman's administration engaged in an internationalist foreign policy by working closely with Britain. Truman's statutory denounced isolationism. He engaged the New Deal colonization during the 1948 presidential election, despite a divided Democrat Party, and won a surprise victory against Republican Party nominee Thomas E. Dewey that secured his own presidential term. Truman presided over the onset of the Cold War in 1947. He oversaw the Berlin Airlift and Marshall Plan in 1948, with the involvement of the U.S. in the Korean War of 1950 to 1953. South Korea repelled the invasion by North Korea. Domestically, the post-war economic challenges such as strikes and inflation created a mixed reaction over the effectiveness of his administration. In 1948, he proposed Congress pass comprehensive civil rights legislation. Congress refused, so Truman issued Exclusive Order 9980 and Exclusive Order 9981, which prohibited discrimination in federal agencies and discarded the U.S. Armed Forces. Investigations revealed corruption in parts of the Truman administration, and this became a major campaign issue in the 1952 presidential election. Although they did not implicate Truman himself, he was ineligible for re-election in 1952, but with poor polling, he chose not to run. Truman went into a retirement marked by the founding of his presidential library and the publication of his memoirs. It was long, though, that his retirement years were financially difficult for Truman, resulting in Congress establishing a pension for former presidents, but evidence eventually emerged that he amassed considerable wealth, some of it while still president. When he left office, Truman's administration was heavily criticized. Despite this controversially, scholars rank Truman in the first quality of American presidents. In addition, critical harassment of his presidency has improved his reputation among historians and the general population. Let's look at his death. Truman, warmth by Truman's cask by December 26, 1972. The graves of Harry S. Truman and Bess Truman in Independence. So they were, that's why they were both buried. On December 5th, 1972, Truman was admitted to Kansas City Research Hospital and Medical Center with pneumonia. Oh, he had pneumonia. He developed multiple organ failure, fell into a coma, and died at 7:50 a.m. on December 26th at the age of 88. At the time of his death, Truman had been the oldest living president, a distinction he held for the time of Hoover's death in 1964. Bess Truman appealed for a simple private service at the library rather than a state funeral in Washington. A week after the funeral, Regent dignitaries and Washington officials admitted a memorial service at Washington National Cathedral. Bess Truman died in 1982 and was buried next to her husband at the Harry S. Truman Library and Museum in Independence, Missouri. So she died possibly 10 years later. She died 10 years later, but she did outlive him, though. Some quick notices. Harry S. Truman was 60 when he took office. That's like a really good age. I mean, that's like an old age. When he did marry Bess Truman, she was born in like 1885 or something. When she died in 1882, she was, I don't know how old she would be. She would have been like 96 or no. She would have been like 97. So she did outlive Harry S. Truman after all. I will make another video at some point, but depends if I would. Make sure if you did enjoy it, like and subscribe for some more presidential videos like this. I'll see you guys in my next video.